That was too much fun.
That was so much fun.
Yes.
So we're still on Facebook Live. What did y'all think? Did y'all enjoy it? I hope so. We're gonna replay this on YouTube. Do you have a couple minutes to talk?
I sure do.
So I want to make a point and talk about Benny.
Okay.
So I want to bring in the fact that Kimberly and Benny, her husband's behind the camera. Say hi, Benny. They are a dynamic team. Everywhere I see one, I see the other, for the most part. Or one is setting up for the other.
Yeah.
Kimberly's in a meeting, Benny's setting up for the next meeting, and all the things. Talk to me about what that looks like, serving God's people with your spouse and with your family. Because a lot of people feel like that is not even attainable because there's two human beings having to come together to be on one accord. So talk to me about that. Well, talk to us. We're going to talk to the camera. Talk to us about that.
We'll talk to you guys. Okay,
Yeah.
so what's interesting about that is I think society has trained us all to think that you can't work with your spouse, right?
Yeah.
You can't get along. It should be mixed and stuff. But I will say this, it's important to set clear boundaries on work life, personal life. And like I tease about the fact that I get to work with the best business partner, my boyfriend, my best friend, and my husband.
Yeah.
But at any given point in time, we're serving different roles. And so our work life has to be about work. And then our personal life has to be about person. And I think where people struggle is they mix the two. And then it carries on. So we treat our company like we would if we were going to an office. Like when both of us had corporate jobs and we were going separate places, when we are working, we are planning the day. What are we going to do today? And we make sure that we are respectful. The other thing is allowing each other to operate in their natural strengths, right? So Benny, and I use this example because it's so true. People always think it's not, but it is so true. Benny is a much better trainer than I am. I'm a public speaker.
Right.
Those are two different skill sets.
Yes.
I can do training, but he does a much better job of it. So he does all of our training. He takes care of all of our case management stuff. He does all the things that he's naturally good at. And then I do the things that I'm naturally good at. And then we just merge them together. And then you have to kind of have an agreement when you feel like, okay, but I don't want to do this. Well, I don't want to do this either. Okay, well, one of us has to do it.
Somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it. So then it's like, okay, fine, I'll do this part, you do this part, right? Because it's not always going to be fun. But I think it's really a mentality. I think we've just been so trained that that's not how things are supposed to be working. But you can actually make them work if you want to.
So did you all discover this as you were dating and knew that going into marriage, or did you discover this cohesiveness after you got married?
So we were cohesive as a couple, but the cohesive as a business partners was a completely different cohesiveness because we both came from corporate America. We were both in senior management. We were both running departments, training people, all these things. And now you have these two A-type personalities that are used to being the boss. And what do you do with that, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's like, well, you can't tell me what to do when you can't tell me what to do either.
Right.
It's like, okay, wait, that ain't gonna work. So then it's like, okay, where do we figure out where does that work for both of us? Where do we allow those skill sets? And then where do we give each other grace? And it honestly, it's a training. It's a journey to go through that process because like the way you thought they worked at work and then you start working with them all day and you're like, wait, you don't do that? And you don't. Like he came from a POS system. I came in from financial services. Completely different worlds. How do we marry them?
Yeah.
And so you have to be willing to do the work. And even in our marriage personally, I say things like we have fair fighting. Like, and people fight. Like, let's be real. Human beings fight. You disagree. And I don't mean fighting like physical fighting, right? But we're disagreeing. But there has to be a fair way to do it. What are the rules of engagement here? When you're frustrated, I'm frustrated. How are we going to treat each other and stay in respect for who we are in each other's lives? But you have to agree to that. And people don't have those conversations. They just assume what everybody's going to do and then they start. Right. And then now you're mad and now you're arguing, now you're fighting, the business is fighting, everything's a mess. It's like, stop, talk. Because at the end of the day, even if you win that battle, you lost the war.
Absolutely.
And both of you lose. So it's not productive.
What's the point?
What's the point? Exactly.
Do y'all have couples seminars, and have you ever done that training?
We're actually getting ready to do one in January.
Let me know. I would love that.
Our estate planning attorney that we work with, she and her husband work in their firm together. And so we're doing it with them.
Yes.
And we're doing couples, and we divided the couples up by
Sign me up.
how long. Yes, it'll be fun.
You've already started it?
Yeah, we've already got the date. We'll be doing it in January.
Sign me up.
So, yep.
And I say that because, I've been married and divorced, and it's always been my heart's desire for my spouse to work with me. However, and they know me, and I know myself, I have to learn how to stay in my lane. I have to watch my face. I have to watch my demeanor. I have to be okay.
I'm laughing because
Listen.
my face is not still to this day.
But the beauty about me being 47 is that I am very authentic about who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I know if I want this to be like this and it's brought to me like this, I'm upset. But knowing if I'm the one that's bringing it, I'm going to bring it the way I prefer, and I'd be upset if someone was upset because they didn't tell me exactly how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
It's like I'm not giving you what I expect. And so I know that I need coaching for that because I believe that God is going to bless me with someone who is comfortable or we're working together, because I have businesses where I'm like, I shouldn't be outsourcing this. My spouse or the person I'm with should be doing these things. So yeah, sign me up for the class.
We will sign you up. And I'm you, so the one thing, I'm a coach you right now real quickly.
Okay.
The first thing we have to understand is it going to accomplish the goal, even if it doesn't accomplish the goal the way you would do it?
Okay, right.
So that's the first thing, because I'm that way. I am extremely OCD. I can live in a museum and a library and be quite content. Everybody else in my house thinks the house should look lived in because we live there. Why? Right? So,
Right.
But it's like at the end of the day, is the method or the way they're getting it done going to get you to the goal? Even if they take a different route than you do, even if you feel like your route, as long as you're still getting there, you have to give them the space to get there and let it go. And so that's the training, the coaching.
Let it go.
And we'll work on it.
Let it go.
And the face thing, I don't know if you're going to get that under control, because I still don't. People laugh at us out in public all the time because Benny is just really fun-loving and happy, but he just says stuff sometimes, and I'm like,
yeah.
And so people wait for my reaction now because they're like, Kimberly's gonna be like, did you? Or I'm like,
well, I think it's for men, we have to let ego go. So we're very egotistical at the end of the day. See, the thing is that real men, and I'm going to say real men, for the people that can actually hear me, real men, all right, they already know who they want to be with. They already know if they want to marry you from the time that they meet you. They already know. So let's not play the games. So I'll give out the game, all right? So it's just, it's the game is to be sold, not to be told at the end of the day, right? Well, there's a reason for that. And men, I decided to work with my wife because I had to let ego go. And once you let the ego go, then you can say, okay, you know what? How would I like to, what does this look like in the future for me? So as men, we have to stop playing the games and saying, hey, what do we want? But I also say this as a couple, when you find your future husband or your future wife at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. Your relationship is on an installment plan. So for the couples that are out there that's been married for 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 3 years, but each individual has a 9 to 5. Now I'm going to ask you, how long have y'all been together? Let's go ahead and reevaluate that. So if you've been together for 2 years, but you have your own apartment, you have your own apartment. So how much time are you spending together during that week?
Yeah.
Well, I only see her on Thursdays and on Saturdays, Sundays, she be singing in the choir. So you've only been together for about 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means you only been together for 2-3 days. See, the thing is, people have this 90-day rule or this 60-day rule, but you're not with that person for 60 days or 90 days. So you really don't get to know that person.
Yeah.
This is why when people get into situations, a situationship, all right, because ships do sink at the end of the day, when they're actually in and they have their children, and then next thing you know, 18, 20 years, the children is off to college, you look at your significant other and you don't even know the person that you're sleeping with at the end of the day, because things change, because your relationship was on an installment plan. So during that 20 years, you only been together for 2 to 3, because your wife has been at the house taking care of the kids and the husband. And I said to myself, and I say this last thing, and if you want to come to the couples retreat and everything like that, I say this, when 2020 happened, when the pandemic actually happened, I told my wife, I said, there's going to be a lot of divorces happening. And she said, why? And I said, because when they're cooped up, and I say in the house together, you're in a 2-bedroom apartment, you got 4 kids and everything like that, y'all really don't know how to mesh your lives together, because you're so used to going to work. I don't have to deal with what's going on at home. But now everybody's working from home. Now you're like, your wife looking at you. Why can't you do the laundry? You're home. Why can't you do the dishes? Why can't you cook? You're home. And now the husband's like, you know what? I'm going to the office today. You know, and it's, you know, you got to look at the dynamics, and you got to understand what was marriage built for at the end of the day. And if you look at modern times, marriage is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right. It's a business first and foremost. So, but you got to look at the person that you're marrying and why are you marrying, or you're seeking covenant with this person that you're with. So I'll leave that at that. So, but I wanted to at least give a little bit of game from a male's perspective, because sometimes we hear so much and we're inundated with female's perspective, but nobody wants to give the male's perspective.
Well, and I think it's so important because, like, you cannot, if you're a career-driven, a growth-minded female, right? You're one of these type of people, you're always going to be growing, you're always going to be challenged, you're always going to be doing something. You have got to be with a man that is okay with that and okay with you being in the limelight. Like you said that Vinny is always with me. People sometimes are like, do you have your own security guard? Well, yeah. Do you have your own photographer? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, well, how do you have all these things? Well, he happens to be my husband.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to take care of me and watch out for me better than my husband.
That's right.
But my husband doesn't mind if I'm in the limelight. I don't mind as he's in the limelight. We need to get really comfortable with cheering for each other and not seeing that as somehow another lesson in us.
That's right.
Right? And that's where people get in trouble. What needs to be all about me? No, it doesn't. It's okay for you to be in the background sometimes. Matter of fact, I enjoy it because I do so many speaking engagements, and I'm usually the one doing the speaking. Like when I have an opportunity to go support him in something and I don't have to do anything, those are my favorite events. And everyone's like, well, what are you doing? Nothing.
Yes.
I'm just here cheering on him, right? So, but I think that's where couples get really stuck, like men that struggle with women that make more money than it. Well, if you have a woman that is growing and prospering and driven like that, she's always going to be thriving. And whether she makes more money than you is not her goal. She's not trying to lessen you at all. It's just you have to be comfortable in those spaces. And I think, and the problem is couples just don't talk.
Yeah.
They assume everybody's on the same page, or they assume what each other's thinking instead of having those conversations. So when we do couple stuff, we actually, even when we do marriage ministries and everything, we actually talk about communication as part of the financial conversation.
Absolutely.
Because it's the number one reason for divorce.
Thank y'all. That was amazing. Well, you heard it here from a successful couple that's doing it, that it is possible to work together to have a successful business. I'm going to attend that conference.
Yes.
And I'm excited, and I thank you both for coming.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Can you hit